to his homeland in Caracas, where he was received by his families and close ones. And now we are going to witness official images of an official ceremony to welcome the Venezuelan diplomat. Beautiful moments that are being lived right now in Caracas, and I believe that Maduro is addressing the people here. Let's try to listen to his statements.
Proud patriots who resisted 1,280 days, 14 months, the conditions most adverse, most painful of kidnapping, incarceration, torture, physical torture, psychological torture, threats, lies, and later, of 1,280 days, he has triumphed. The truth has won. Justice has won. What had to be triumphed, it triumphed. Alex Saab, about your days of pain and persecution against you and your family. I told Alex when I hugged him this afternoon, so beautiful afternoon, with the beautiful sun of Caracas. This Christmas, this happy Christmas of our people, awaiting for the 2024 year, I knew this day would come. And this day came. Bless this day, December 20th, forever unforgivable. We need to speak about so many things. Alex Saab has faced the most fearful challenges of this man, of this brave man, who has carried out. I want to thank Dr. Jorge Rodriguez for all of his, for everything he did, and the Dr. Hector Rodriguez, who have been through this process, who were able to make this day come true, and the rescue, safe and sound and alive and free, of Alex Saab, who was kidnapped 1,280 days. Our people will know all the truth, how he had to face lies. Not even one of the proofs that were given from Miami and Bogota were true. The only truth of a brave man, of an entrepreneur, nationalized in Venezuela, whose only fault was to seek to overcome the sanctions, the criminal sanctions against Venezuela, to look for medicines during the pandemic. He was captured then and kidnapped. All of the medicines that you looked for us, the people received them at the time you were kidnapped in Cape Verde. All of those vaccines reached Venezuela during the crisis, due to the blockade. All of the gasoline that you searched for us arrived to Venezuela. All of the food arrived in Venezuela while you were kidnapped. All of this came to these dignified people of Venezuela during times of reivindication of the truth and justice. The hatred couldn't do this. not even the lies. Hatred will never overcome us, not even the persecution. We are made of iron that is built during the strong struggle over the centuries. We are made of centuries of struggle. I want to thank also the negotiation parts, all of the commission of negotiators in the Barbados table, who were part of the agreements of Barbados and this exchange that has been made today. I want to thank especially Al Emir of Qatar, the Qatar government, because it has been a facilitator, a brilliant facilitator of exquisite diplomacy for the enclosure of the dialogue and the assignment of the agreements and the fulfillment, partial fulfillment of the agreements signed in Qatar. I want to thank all the commission, all the team, Dr. Rodriguez, but Alex, my wife Cecilia, who received Alex during his first steps of freedom in a free homeland, a dignified homeland, based in strengthening and unity. We are on foot, dignified, with our faces looking up to the sun. You have made it to your homeland, your free homeland. I want to say especially, to give a recognition and a thankful and a huge hug to your wife, Alex Saab, and your children who were in the front line, bravely and lovingly, in this day-to-day battle. They managed to build a powerful movement around the world. Alex, you are informed. It is impressive, the world movement that arises in all countries of the world, including in the US, in Florida, in Miami, where you were kidnapped. Until even there, the movement arises. I want to thank all of the women and men of the movement, of the Free Alex Saab movement of the whole world. Your freedom is due to their work and their perseverance, that were joining volunteers and people in Venezuela. You would be impressed. I am impressed. All of the manifestations of people you don't even imagine that were urging for your freedom. Our people applaud them. Our people is going to celebrate up high this freedom that we have achieved in base of freedom and truth and perseverance, the Bolivarian perseverance, Chavez perseverance on what is fair and honorable, to overcome lies and persecutions and campaigns. We are carrying a sword to battle all enemies and all injustices. I want to broadly thank all of those who contributed to this day, for this positive step to be achieved. I want to thank President Joe Biden from Caracas, Venezuela. I want to say, like I said, all of the presidents, and like I said to President Obama, face to face, like I said to President Donald Trump through Dr. Rodriguez in multiple occasions because we were talking with Trump about your liberation, and we had it almost done, but he lost elections and there was a change in government, and then we had to start all over again. With Trump, we had all the agreement on point. Dr. Jorge Rodriguez is a witness. We perseverated. I told it to President Obama, Trump, and Biden. Commander Chavez told it to President Clinton and also said to President George Bush and Obama, to the first Obama, President Biden, and all the politicians in the US. Here it is Venezuela, in food, with its own model, independent, sovereign. We will never be, we are proud Bolivarians, dignified people and rebellious people. With respect, all is possible. We can move forward through respect in a different way of relationship. I would say, let's hope for a path and a process of respect, of Bolivarian treatment and understood between the US and the Bolivarian Republic. Today we have made a step that we hope that it makes this path of dignified people possible. Life is a constant miracle, and today the miracle of freedom, the miracle of justice has come to a reality. Thanks to you, President, for your perseverance. Thank you for the first commander, Celia Flores, the angel of Venezuela. Thank you for Jorge Rodriguez and Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. Thank you to my children and my wife, Camila, for keeping me alive during these 3 years, because their fight and her love kept my strength alive and our family united. Thank you, Venezuelan people. I feel proud to serve the Venezuelan people and serve this government, a loyal government, left anyone behind, a government that never gives up like me, and a people that will never give up. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everyone. Those were the first words of the Venezuelan diplomat Alex Saab from Miraflores Palace during this encounter with President Nicolas Maduro. He said, "Thank you."
We were watching the statements of President Maduro, Alex Saab, as he was welcomed at the Miraflores Palace on a magical day for their families and for Venezuela in general, the return at last of the diplomat Alex Saab. President Maduro was saying that justice, truth had triumphed on today in Caracas, Venezuela, adding that Saab won over all the slander campaigns against him. He said that Saab's mission was a success because we must remember that when Saab was arrested in Cape Verde, he was on a humanitarian mission in the framework of the constant blockade that Venezuela was suffering during those years, in the years 2020, especially during the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic. We must remember that the U.S. imposed hundreds and hundreds of sanctions, unilateral sanctions, illegal sanctions, and a policy of blockade against Venezuela, preventing the country to face the situation that was being experienced back then. And Alex Saab was sent on a humanitarian mission to gather resources, to gather food, to gather medicine, to gather vaccines and fuel, to bring back to the country to help the Venezuelan people cope with the moment that was being lived worldwide, but was being especially hard in Venezuela because of all these illegal sanctions that were hindering the process of the country to face the health situation. And it was during that time that Alex Saab was illegally detained because he was a diplomat. That was against all international laws, the way he was detained. And Maduro made emphasis during his speech while he was receiving Saab, not a single proof was presented of what he was being accused of. That's why he also referred that Saab had won over the slander campaigns that were made against him, because up until today, not a single proof was presented of everything that he was being accused of, for everything that he was illegally detained, first in Cape Verde and then when he was extradited back to the U.S. But today is a historic moment for Venezuela, for the Venezuelan people, and also for everyone that was involved in the Free Saab campaign. Maduro also gave a special mention to all those commissions, all the people that were involved in the process of bringing him back home. Especially also made emphasis with the government of Qatar. That was a crucial part of the return, of the safe return of Alex Saab to Venezuela. We are now going to go with our colleague, Gladys Quesada, who is in Caracas, to have a feel of how this is being experienced right there on the ground. Hello, Gladys, welcome.